What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Triangl. This is your boy D.
And it's your girl CJ. Brandi is going to be on our second half of the episode because we're recording this for D. Because D has to work later.
I gotta work, yeah.
I'm sorry. But we can't have 2 whole weeks without you, D. We can't have 2 whole weeks without you. So this is what we're going to have to do to make it work. But if you are listening to this episode, just a side note, on Thursday, hopefully it will be up because Anchor has been glitching and I got to get that fixed. Tonight, we're doing a live at 9 p.m. Central-ish. We'll get flyers out too. If you haven't checked out our Instagram or Facebook page, go and do it. Sorry if you're listening after Thursday because Thursday's the 1-year anniversary. So if you missed it, I'm sorry, but it should be posted if we do the live and it goes well. So we'll try to get that done. Anyway, so today the title is called The Entanglement.
The Entanglement.
The Entanglement. We cannot not talk about this. I mean, come on, Jada. Come on, Will.
I love that term, entanglement.
Everybody
and their mama is going to be saying they in an entanglement now. She set a new precedent. I love it. She just added something new to the vernacular.
I saw a meme that says somewhere T.I. mad as fuck he didn't come up with that word first.
Right?
That had me giggling. I was like, he sure probably is. Oh my God. No, for real though. So if you don't know the story, you might want to go look it up. So Jada apparently was in an entanglement, cheating basically on Will. But I mean, I don't know, is it cheating? They have an open relationship. Like,
that's what I was confused about. Like, what's the controversy about with
I don't know. Maybe it's because he didn't like him or something. But so Jada, August did a interview where he talked about being with Jada and he got blessings from Will and all this other crap too, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, I don't know why August did that interview. It was so unnecessary. Like, I don't know if he got hurt because he caught feelings and couldn't get her. You know, because that's what I think it is. I really do. Also, he been out of the scene for a minute for most of us, so maybe that's his way of like getting back in prime time.
It's a really good possibility. You know how people they'll do anything for clout.
Anything for clout, and
they'll do anything for clout.
But also, is Jada to blame? Is Will to blame? Are they even?
Well, who's to blame if they already have an open relationship and this is something that's
what I understood.
You know what I'm saying?
And because, you know, people are like, no.
I just like the fact she used the word entanglement. That shit is hilarious. That's my favorite part of the whole thing. She was so serious
when she said that too. She was like, yeah. And, well, I got into an entanglement with August. And she didn't, like, bat an eye. She didn't, like, look confused, nothing. Like, she had that put together already. She was ready with it. And that makes me wonder if she was, like, okay doing what she was doing because she wasn't getting attention from Will. Like, because, you know, she basically said she needed to feel good, you know, emotionally.
I don't really think she was ever that much into Will. I honestly think that.
I mean, she did. I mean, she had a thing for Pac. If you don't know the story between her and Pac,
that's her type. I think Will fell in love with her, and she just tolerated him.
Well, it's so hard, like, cause I know, like, Will is like the type that she would have never gone for, like you said. Yeah. On her own, but he was probably good for her for growth.
And she understood that. So that's why she tolerated it.
You think she tolerated him?
I think she tolerated. I think she like liked him back or loved him or whatever, but I think
it was more of it wasn't like a hardcore love.
Right. I think he loved her way more than she loved him.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I mean, that's what you're supposed to pick out. I read somewhere about that.
But I think it was like extreme.
Way extreme. I mean, the way he like came at her while she was still talking to Pac and stuff basically was hardcore too. Like, if you don't know the story, like Jada and Tupac was best of friends. I mean, lover and friend probably. They never said that they were. They always said they were really good friends. I'm sure they had their moments, but you know, like I saw a meme. Somebody, man, the internet is like undefeated. I saw a meme somewhere. They had Will Smith on there crying, talking about can't even get rid of her because she'll just go with Pac up there. Like,
That's messed up.
Ain't it though? Ain't it though? And I'm just, God, I just hope that like Will's gonna stay. I know he is. Like, here's the other thing. Like, is it weird that they've been in the limelight? And I'm gonna ask Brandi this too on the second half. I feel like it's weird that they, as a family, has just kind of popped up into the limelight as a whole in the last year and a half. Remember when I started talking about how Will Smith all of a sudden created an Instagram? And then all of a sudden, then he had movies like Gemini Man, Aladdin, all of this other stuff come through, like Suicide Squad and everything. And then the next thing you know, like her kids are in the news, and then it's herself. And if it's starting to feel very like ritualistic,
calculated.
Right. Well, because the ritual stuff, if I'm gonna go deep into a conspiracy shit, but some of the ritual stuff involves pedo stuff, involves humiliation, involves all of that crap. And they just got through drama with Shane Dawson talking about their daughter. Right.
That was weird. Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden, then August has an interview out of nowhere about him and Jada, which is humiliating to her, I'm sure. Yeah. And so to me, it's kind of like, are they getting ready to take over the Hollywood's woods? What's happening?
I'm just saying, keep your eye out for shit like that. Like, especially if you notice a pattern, just keep your eye out and see if shit starts looking weird. Because it's usually something to it.
I don't know. And if Will is okay staying there, I guess that's his choice. And like, he ain't all that innocent either. There's pictures circulating of him and Margot Robbie from Suicide Squad, like them together doing stuff. So
really?
Yeah, I just don't think.
At the end of the day, I thought this is the agreement that they had.
Me too. I didn't think it was anything different than what they already had agreed upon. So,
or is it that she invested too much time and energy? It's like, okay, you can do what you want, but if you invest too much energy and time and get the kids involved, that's a problem.
So, because there's a difference between polyamorous and open relationship. Because polyamorous people, as a group, have like love for each other and they stay within that group.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if you have an open relationship, you get to go with whoever within whatever guidelines you create within that coupledom. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if she went outside a lot, like you said, and if she spent too much, but he's so ugly. I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm sorry. August is not attractive. Maybe he's nice.
I saw this meme. It was funny. So I had this dude. It was like a thirst trap photo. And it was like, is this how you become entangled? I think it's probably how she became entangled. Because he saw the D, the size of the D, it fucked her mind up.
Well, I mean,
and she became entangled by
entangled. I mean, I get it. Maybe that's what it was, but if that's all it was, then I mean, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Maybe it was for Jada. Maybe because how old are they? How old are they right now? Do you know?
What, Jada probably in her 50s?
Let me look it up because I want to know.
Early 50s, both of them, I
think. Probably. She's 48.
Okay.
She's 48. Let's look at Will because I feel like they're about the same, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Because they all look good though for their age. Oh yeah, Will's 51. Yeah. So they're not that old, that much older, but maybe they're at the time, like the place in their time in life where they just don't give a fuck anymore.
Probably.
Like her kids are grown, their kids are grown, or grown, pretty much grown. Aren't they over?
I think they're all
adults now, right? Yeah. So maybe she just don't give a fuck no more. But like I don't know. Will look like on that interview, he was looking like he was about to let the hood out a little bit, though. Not gonna lie. Maybe that's what he needed a little bit. Maybe that's what she needed to see out of him.
Maybe, they're gonna be in love now, right? She want a hood nigga. She need a roughneck. Remember that song?
No.
Gotta get a roughneck. That's what she wanted this whole fucking time.
I hate you. Why do you remember
That's all I ever wanted.
I just wanted a roughneck.
Choke me the fuck out. That's all I ever wanted.
Not choke me the fuck out. I hate you so much.
Just smoke a black and mild already.
No, that's fucking terrible. I mean, but what would you do? Would you even have an open relationship with somebody?
Nah.
No?
I don't think so. Nah.
You don't?
Nah.
At all? Even if the terms were good?
I mean, I'm not a believer in that necessarily because I think it's easy to go astray. You know what I'm saying? It might start out as fun and games and then turn into something else. So it's like, don't even put yourself in that situation.
That's true.
So that's how I look at it.
I have a couple friends that I love dearly who started out not as a couple. It was like one of them had, so we'll call them A, B, and C, right? So A, B were dating, and C was a third party that came into A, B, and C to do like a threesome situation.
Right.
But A and C hit it off. And B got left out. Now A and C are now married, so it's like a happy ending. But what if C never showed up and it was A and B forever? Like, could they have had a happy ending too? Like, you never know. Maybe it was meant to be, but I don't know. I don't think I could have it like an open relationship like that, where it's like I would have to approve of the people. Like, I need to know what's up. Like, you can't just go and fuck everybody. Like, you want to I don't know, Rob is listening, like, what is she talking about? No, I'm not talking about me and Rob discussing this. I'm saying me as a person, if it were to come up, I would have to know.
We do not be ready for Rob's list. Be ready for his list, because you know you're going to come up with a whole list. He's like, I'm going to need your approval.
He's going to listen to this episode. He's going to be writing out a list at work. Just scroll it out.
A whole scroll.
Scroll. Why is it a scroll? Why are we old school like that? Why can't it just be a Post-it note? But no, like, there has to be some kind of agreement. And I don't know if, like you said, if Jada went outside of that agreement and Will found out. But did Will already know though? Because it's been going on forever. Like, forever. She was at the red carpet on some occasion with him too, right? You see the way Queen Latifah was looking at them from behind? She said, they fucking, she know. Oh, speaking of, side note, by the way, y'all remember seeing the article about the brat coming out being lesbian? Can we just say that the Black delegation already knew? And it's only news to people. It's only news to people who watch BuzzFeed all day long. Just so you know.
Like, what? The brat? Of course.
Latifah right there with her. I don't understand. They should have just got together, been a power ass couple in hip hop for the lesbians. I'm just putting it out there. Listen, if by any chance somebody who know them or they are listening to our podcast by some fucking miracle, Latifah and the brat together, power couple, like fucking lesbian couple in hip hop, come on. Like, you can't beat that.
They probably been there, done that, though.
They probably have in the past. I'm saying just bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Why can't they be the next Jay-Z and Beyonce, but on a whole nother sector?
On a whole nother sector.
Dude, they would fucking do great right now with the LGBT community. Are you kidding? They're fucking female and Black? Right. Like, that's what we need right now, right? Like, literally, they would be a power couple right now in this era. I'm not even kidding. Jesus Christ. But no, back to Will, because we always off task. Back to Will and Jada. You know what the other thing is? I wonder what their kids are thinking, because they brought themselves to the red table to discuss this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying their kids are like terrible, because they did a great job of raising their kids, in my opinion, because you got them doing stuff they want to do. And, you know, I know that culturally in the Black community, when you have kids who are out of the Black stereotype, they label them as weird and all that alternative stuff. But I mean, that's how I am too. So I understand it. They're actually pretty fucking dope. And like, what's his name? Is it Jaden? I'm so bad at it. Jaden is going around like fucking providing services for the less fortunate and shit like that. So I'm down with it, but I just wonder like how the kids are feeling if they knew their parents were like in an open relationship so publicly.
If we knew, I'm sure they knew. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but
I mean,
I guess when it's your parents doing it, I don't know, because I know someone whose parents were in an open relationship.
Are you serious?
She laughed about it. She's like, "Yo, my parents are total fucking swingers," and she always just jokes about how she always suspected it and how she always thought it was weird that they would have to spend the night. And she's like, "I thought you grew out of that." Like, just in her child mind, she's like, "And she's supposed to like not do that after a while." Like, yeah, if you get drunk or whatever, but yeah, let's just have a sleepover. She was like, "That's fucking weird, man." So as she grew up and realized what was happening, she's like, "Yo, my parents are fucking swingers, man." So she jokes about it and laughs about it now.
I mean, okay, well, maybe that's what it is. It's kind of like the Spotsville family, right? Like my family with my dad and all the kids. Like I have like 10,000 siblings. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not 10,000, but we definitely have at least 11 accounted for altogether. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And maybe one or two more that's not accounted for that possibly could be. So there's that. And I think it's funny because most of our siblings talk to each other are on like, you know, Facebook status, or like we have each other's numbers and everything too. And like, if you come to the wedding, you're going to meet my sister and my brother, like that are in Cali. Hopefully my brother can make it. I know he has a hard time getting out here, but I know my sister will be here and her husband and all of that. But like, I don't know. I guess it would be kind of funny though if I found out my parents were swingers. I mean, I guess it's like kind of finding your dad or mom's stash of porn or fucking electrical devices that are adults like it never really, unless you are super boxed in, it never really phases you at some point. You're just like, oh wow, that's it's really gross because it's my parents.
It never dawns on you that your parents are human
sexual beings.
Like they do human shit, and then it's like it's just weird to think about. It's like kill it.
But you hear because of that they fucking fucked.
Right. But it's just I don't want to think about that shit.
I agree. I fucking agree. But I'm just saying, like, at least we know that's what they did. I don't know. I guess it's weird. It's just weird. Can you imagine finding out that your parents were swingers? Like, I'd be like I might be slightly devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna be like, so we sure that I'm yours, right? We sure. We're just sure. I mean, can't fuck it up with the Spotsville DNA because we all look like my dad. But
look alike. That's crazy. That is weird, there.
It's kind of disturbing, actually.
Right.
So I know that's not a problem, dude. By the way, side note, you know that fucking Snapchat app where you can turn yourself into a kid, a woman, or a dude? Yeah. I did it with the guy fucking app. Why I just look like one of my brothers? I was like, no. I'm about to take a picture of that and send it to my older sister and be like, I think I found another brother. See how she reacts. Because we've done that before.
I did that with my grandma. I made myself young, and it was like, I got something to tell you, Grandma. I got a son, and she was like, yeah, funny.
I'm telling you, I like pulled my hair back and like it, you know, it makes you like rough and scruffy. And I was like, I just look like my own brothers. Like, this is disgusting as fuck. And you know what was really scary? You know, everybody keeps telling me that Heather looks like my mom, right? So I put her on for like the old lady app, and it looked just like my mom.
See?
You know what's worse? Let me tell you what's worse. You know how on your phone your gallery recognizes faces? So you click on the face and all the pictures with that person shows up.
Right.
Why come I clicked on the one? Why come I clicked on the one with my daughter and my mom's pictures was in the mix without my daughter in it? And vice versa. I clicked on my mom's photo and my daughter's picture showed up in that fucking gallery together.
That is crazy.
Listen, even my fucking AI on my phone thinks it's the same person, so it must be. I'm so mad. I was like, so she just looked like my whole ass mom?
She looks just like her mom.
So we know what she's gonna look like in about 70 years.
Exactly what she's gonna look like in 70 years.
Just taller and browner with curlier hair. That's what she is. Taller, browner, and curlier hair is what's going to happen. Jesus Christ, for real though. Anyway, on that note, we should probably take a break so you can go to work.
Gotta go to work.
I'm
so
sorry,
deuces, everybody. Brandi will be replacing me. Time to let her into the show.
All right, we'll see you in a few seconds.
Yeah.
And we're back. And Brandi's here with us.
I'm here.
Dee is gone.
Thank you for saying my name. Normally I just introduce myself because I was going to say I'm Will Smith's new girlfriend. But...
Are you sure? Because he's already in entanglements with others as well.
Okay, I feel like it's too soon. And then I hear he just like the white girl, so I ain't got a chance anyway.
I mean, him with, what's her name? Margot Robbie?
I saw those pictures. I don't know about anybody else, but I had reposted it, and of course, people in my comments are going in. I didn't even feel like joining. I was like, I'm just gonna let y'all go back and forth with each other. A lot of the guys are like, no, the different guys feel like there's this code, right? There's always a code with guys.
Oh my god.
Which is funny because when I
what
feel
is
like
the code of lifting your shirt up with another female?
That is the picture that bothered me. Okay, so y'all can look up in your own spare time. Pictures of Margot Robbie and Will Smith, and y'all are clearly in a photo booth, maybe a cast party, maybe there were other people around, but I know I'd feel a way if my husband offset, not in character, has his shirt up with another girl who's flashing the camera and y'all hugged up all on each other. I wouldn't care if y'all was drunk. I wouldn't care what the fuck the reason was. To me, it was inappropriate. But as we've said before in our own private conversations, we've heard for years that Will and Jada are swingers and have an open marriage. So that's kind of what we're talking about in this episode, like just the entanglements of it all.
That's what I'm saying. So here's the thing. So I asked Dee this question. So I kind of want to ask you too. So would you ever have an open relationship with anybody like that? Would you be able to if the circumstances were right?
Okay, I'm going to have like my answer and then my trash answer.
What is your answer? Let's go with that first.
So my answer, I'm instinctively saying fuck no, right? But then I'm like, well, what if it was somebody that I deemed, and I know this is a preference thing, but if it was somebody that I deemed like, man, I didn't think I was going to get them anyway, and I got them, and maybe they want to see other people too, and sometimes people just go with it. Like, if Michael B. Jordan was like, yeah, I want you to be one of many girlfriends, or if Jenna was wanting to do it because he said he was like that, which was also interesting because then he said when he found out a girl he was seeing other guys too because it was open, he was crushed. Why? Because just like Will was about to have a breakdown again talking about on the Red Table Talk, these niggas can't take what they dish out.
They can't be number two.
My homegirl told me today when we were talking about parking lot, she said a lot of men cannot love the woman they created with their actions. They can. I said, girl, you better give me something to put on a t-shirt. I'm like, they can't love what she ends up evolving into for being with you or how she survives afterwards. Then you're looking at her like, oh, you used to be such a good girl. You used to be such a sweet girl. I wonder what the fuck happened. What could have possibly happened between before I met you and when I got with you?
Like, I mean, so here's my thing. I don't think people fundamentally change all that much in between. I feel like you get more comfortable showing up in your own skin as time goes by. So I think that's what happened. And like, considering her background with Pac and all of that too, I don't think she's ever been like a one-man woman. Like, she was... I know her and Pac was always like, we friends, but she was also still speaking to Will at the same time.
And Will, apparently, when they first started talking, was also married. So maybe she likes projects. Maybe she likes guys who... That's
right. I totally forgot he was married.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe you just like fix him uppers, build a nigga. I don't know. Like, you like to try to heal. Even her talking about how much she was like, it just felt so good to heal. I mean, she sounded like a fucking vampire. I'm like, girl,
maybe she is.
It don't feel that good to heal while you playing because the skin was looking crazy good at the Red Table Talk. I'm like, girl, she was
remember
perched.
For a minute she went through that thing with Will and she started losing her hair and all of that, and then now she's back on point. But
that's that
like,
August sperm in her. She's like that youngin' sperm in his 20s really does the skin Good.
Because how old is he? He's like 20 something?
He was like 26 or 27 when they were hooking up, and she was like 48. And then mind you, I've also made the point too, because I get where people are coming from. If this was Will and some young girl, it would be World War III.
It would be.
And nobody would be trying to hear any. Will couldn't have sat up there and been like, I was in an entanglement with Margot Robbie. We would have been like, nigga, Margot. Entanglement. The song is just so cute.
I just want to do it for everything. Like when I'm eating pancakes or something. Just entanglement with pancakes. Entanglement with
and you gotta have somebody go, an entanglement.
Just pouring the syrup while they're like repeating it.
Yeah. I mean, the situation's already messy, but what made it messier to me is the fact it got out. And I think I would have to kind of have like a T.I. and Tiny situation where if I'm gonna stay with you and you're gonna stay with me, none of us want to make some move for business decisions or for the time invested, whatever our personal reasons may be, make a pact to make sure none of these bitches come up pregnant and none of these bitches come up talking about, oh, I was with him. They signing NDAs, just shut it down. And then you don't have to worry about ever a guy calling your phone, rolling up on me. He's not going to be on vacation with us, because I feel like that's when that violation of respect and other shit goes.
That's how I feel too. Like, it's so weird that like so I asked Dee this too, like, why do you think August had to go and do that fucking interview? I was like, because he was becoming irrelevant, right? But then
I don't feel like it was because he was becoming irrelevant, because to honestly be fair, and I know you don't follow a lot in pop stuff.
No.
So coming from someone that likes her pop trash, to be fair, August Alsina has been out of the scene for a long ass time.
That's what I mean.
Years. But so it's kind of like, I don't think he said it to be like, oh, let me revive my career. I personally think you're still a bit sick, because ain't no way somebody was healing you and using you like that too. And maybe this was one of your moments where, as a victim, because to me, you're a victim, as a victim, you just felt like, I'm comfortable in this setting. It's just time to talk about this. And every once in a while, some celebrities spill beans like that. And you're like, damn, where did that come from? Or damn, you crying in an interview and that wasn't expected. And then honestly, on top of that, if he did decide to pull a Kardashian move, I wouldn't be mad at it, because now is the time to drop an album if you wanted to, because people are paying more attention to you. But if you don't drop no project in the next 6 months or a year, you strictly did this because, in my opinion, you're still in love with Jada and you're still very hurt.
Part. I was saying that. I was like, it's one or the other. Like, also, like, you know, how do you even recover from that? Are people going to take you seriously, though, if you did all of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, now that I know he exists as a person, I don't really want to go and listen to his shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you know what I'm saying?
I get what you mean. Some artists feel better when you don't know their personal lives.
Right, and you know, and I know he existed already, obviously, but I wasn't into his music to begin with. Like, like him doing this is not gonna make me want to go listen to it even more. Like, as a matter of fact, I want to do less with him in my life. So,
I just want him to kind of continue to stay to himself, because he had a lot of personal deaths in the family,
right?
And just like really sad shit happened to him, and so. He's been like kind of low-key hermit for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
So I think he started coming out when he was like a little under 25, and he had some really cute songs with Chris Brown, and I want to say maybe he collaborated with Trey Songz. So, and then it was like, everybody was like, what happened to August? And then every once in a while, he would come up and talk about stuff that was happening in his family, but then he would go away again, because he seemed like one of those artists that didn't want to play the game. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
And when you don't want to play the game, you definitely get, you know, treated a different way and have different access to stuff when you're not trying to do what everybody else is doing. So when he came up underneath the Smiths wing, because I do remember him being around them years ago, and people kind of making comments about the pictures of him and Jada, but not really taking it seriously, because I think people just put the Smiths on a pedestal and just expected more out of Will and Jada.
That's true.
I think that's probably why this story is so big and really rocked it, because their marriage has just been held as one of those in Hollywood's like, wow, you're really doing it. But like Derek Jackson was saying, kind of doing a review about it, you can keep that marriage if most of the years aren't quality. If this is how you guys do your partnership, you don't even want to call it a marriage. And not that they have to, but I'm like, well, technically you are married. Legally, you're married, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever special word you want to make up for it. you're still fucking married. And Jada definitely strikes me as a person where you probably need to be in an open relationship, because anything that seems maybe confining for you or super locked in, you're bucking against. Because she had an attitude hearing about people on the internet saying that, August saying that Will gave permission. She's like, the only person that can give permission is me. And I'm like,
she was mad about that, wasn't she?
She was, out of all the stuff she could have been pissed about, because most of the interviews,
that's what made it feel weird to me, is that's the part that caught her attention.
Yeah, that's out of everything. That's when she really was like, but other than that, she was calm, sounding like a robot on a sedative. And then when it came to, Will gave you permission, it was like, I saw a glimpse of a dragon. Like, wait a minute now. Nobody gives me permission, let alone Willard. So
not Willard.
Yeah,
no, but for real, I totally understand that. Like, it's just so, I'm so weirded out at how much this whole family is in the limelight now as a concentration.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think about those kids too, because I'm like, Jaden
brought
August in. And I'm like, I wonder how this feels.
But you know what Dee said earlier? He said that he knows like of somebody who has parents who was swinging and they thought it was funny later on. And I was like, well, they are grown, but still.
I don't think anything's funny about it. The only reason why this isn't as funny as it could be, although the memes are hilarious, is because August, to me, is really still hurt.
I think he really is. Still the way he talked about her,
talking about he could die happy knowing he loved and gave everything. I'm like, what the fuck? And then another thing that pissed me off of some real shit, and this is how I feel anytime I think about something.
She leaned back with that.
I had to lean back. Whether we're talking about people that separated, also note to self, that's why you stay out of people's business unless they fully divorced. Ain't no, I'm separated, we on a break, fuck that shit. Like, no, you're either single or you're not. But anyway, another thing, a layer about adding an extra person in when you're not done with whatever you're in that I don't like is the conversations you'll never know that were had. Because you know Jada was running her mouth to August about Will.
Oh,
and that's just another level of disrespect, because then I got this young man around us in Hawaii. He in my house.
Do you think she was doing that and that's why he gave her his all? Because he probably thought that Will and Jada was going to end. For some other guy to come in and be like, I'm going to give you everything.
I'm going to give you everything. He has
to think that something was ending already.
And you had to give him something to go off
and a reason for him to go that hard.
So I don't know what you were saying about your marriage, but you was definitely spilling beans and you was dragging
Will. Do you think
Will.
It was the time? I don't know. You remember they were talking about how Will said there was a time where she would get up and cry for 40 days straight?
I remember that. What we'd have to track this back to is the BET Awards red carpet where she showed up with August.
And Queen Latifah.
Yeah,
I know me and you talked about it too, but her face was everything.
Right, it was super messy. So we'd have to trace it back to around that time, because that's when all this started, when she started hanging around the Smiths. And then it's kind of like, well, what was going on with y'all? And another thing that I don't like is, although they never asked for the title of being kind of like this golden Hollywood couple and marriage to look up to, you definitely, in my opinion, seem to embrace it and seem to like people looking up to the Smiths. I mean, you basically were able to build a whole kind of like red table talk around it, because it's like, we're the Smiths and we're to be revered, and we're wise and we're this.
I think that's the thing though. Remember, I keep talking about how there's a rotation in powers that's probably going to happen here soon. Like, I really feel like
you talk about so much. I can't lie to you and say, yeah, I remember about the rotation of powers. I do not.
I just feel like they might be in line or next in line or coming up in line to be in a higher place in the hierarchy of Hollywood. And so that's why they've been in the limelight so much.
I can understand that. And then I think in some of these rituals, because we do believe in like a lot of that stuff too, for y'all listening or just tuning in, in some of these kind of Hollywood rituals of climbing the ladder, there's like public humiliation that has to be a part of it.
Right.
And this would definitely be humiliating, at least in my opinion, as a family. Not so much, oh, my wife or oh, my husband, y'all didn't bring this to us. Somebody else was crying because he's still in love with your wife.
Right.
And now it's very easy to believe all of the other rumors that we've heard about you guys being open and swingers.
It's
extremely easy to believe.
I just, my thing is about rumors, there's always an element of truth. So I never thought it wasn't, something that didn't happen. Somebody somewhere saw something and that's what they made you talk about it. So all of this is not a surprise at all.
And
what is a
For
surprise?
years, though,
what is a surprise is August's interview is the surprise for me, because I didn't think somebody would go out and do all of that.
And that to me, and I'm not trying to make him seem less than a man, but I say this just saying it because it reminds me of female shit. That's female shit. Like, we do stuff like, I'm telling everybody, I'm gonna call your wife, I'm gonna tell that, you know what I mean? Everybody finna know and hear about me. That's bitch shit. We do that, and we do it. Why? Or at least, like, I would like to think, because I haven't been in that position before, but I can only imagine I would do it just to be like, no, you don't get to live happily ever after this. You don't get to use me and leave me.
That's true.
And then go on to your marriage, because I didn't ask for this. I came here for a different reason, and then this started. So you made me, I started believing something else.
If you didn't know there was a marriage involved, or if there was another, I get that part.
Absolutely not. Because this is why we are not going to make August wrong in this. Yes, you knew a marriage was involved, but this is why this happens so often, because you didn't have the advantage of dealing with somebody who was completely single. There's separation. So then with separation, depending on how much money or assets or things people have, sometimes my separation, and I wasn't even like, we weren't rich, and our divorce seemed to take forever. It's like, why is this separation taking? It's like 2010. Why is it taking until like 2011 for this to be finalized? Why is it taking until 2000 whatever for us to be officially divorced? Like, but that whole time we were not living together, not talking, nothing like that. So a lot of times it's easy for people to end up with, technically on paper, married people, although maybe not married in how they're living, but married on paper, because I don't see him, and we don't know where Will was. Will could have been gone on a movie set for 6 to 8 months, and Jada's living her best life with him, telling her, no, seriously, and telling him, hey, I'm gonna leave him because he's doing A, B, and C, and I don't even, you know what I mean? You don't know. I don't think August came in there like, man, I know this is a marriage, and I really think she preyed upon him.
I understand what you're saying. I guess I've seen too many people in that position where I don't want to say too many people, maybe like 3 people that I know who have been in the position as August, where the other significant person is like still married on paper, but telling them that they're separated. So one of them spent 4 years with this dude, and he never got a divorce. And my thing is, like, if you don't have it in concrete paper, I don't think you should be fucking with somebody.
No,
if you're
absolutely.
Get serious,
I agree. But then that's where
why I'm like, I don't know that it's like 100 on either person. I think it's like a 50-50 situation.
Oh, it's nowhere near 50-50 to me. Not at all.
I think it's
the people that are married are definitely going to take more responsibility in that at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, you as husband and wife are obligated to each other. If I was going to be a homewrecker, whether I knew I was one or one by default, y'all not finna blame me for all this shit, because I don't have obligations to nobody.
But
I will take my 20%, ma'am.
Not your 20%.
August will take his 20%, and that'll be that. Because to me, the only time you take more than maybe the person that's married is when you know somebody's married and they seem happy or whatever, and then you're just purposely inserting yourself like, I want you and I'm going to keep trying. When you're preying upon someone like that, although the person who's married is still obligated to their marriage more so than you are to it, you really got some nerves purposely hounding down, trying to seduce somebody. I don't think August was trying to seduce
I still
Jada.
think that she had more than just August going on too.
Oh, for sure. Just like they were saying he was.
But so here's the thing, like, for the amount of time that August spent with Jada, there's no way that Will wasn't aware of all of this. There's no way.
I think he was aware. I don't think he was aware of it on the levels that
you mean, like, how involved that August thought he was?
Oh yeah, because dig this.
Because I mean, they showed up on the red carpet together.
Listen, it's one thing, and they were on vacations and stuff together too, and you ain't never hear all this, right?
Right.
So it is one thing to know somebody is fucking somebody.
Right.
It's another thing, like I said, those conversations you don't hear about. And then what I think was probably painful for anybody all over again is you watch that interview with August and then you're looking at your person like, what the fuck were y'all really talking about? Because now I don't feel like you told me this whole truth, because this young man.
This man was in you. He was in love with you.
In love. He wasn't just trying to bust the nut. He was making love to my wife, technically on paper, right? So yeah. That's when it's kind of like, I think Will knew. I don't think Will knew how deep it got, literally.
That's
and
true. That's
I think that adds another layer of hurt and so-called betrayal. Because real talk, when you're telling some truths on stuff, you, depending on who you're dealing with, a lot of people aren't going to keep it all the way 100, because you're thinking, what if this person judges me? What if they leave? They can't handle this information. Look at how they're handling what I'm telling them right now. They damn sure ain't going to be able to handle it.
His face during the round table was hilarious.
Oh, God, his face.
But so here's the thing. What I'm waiting on, this is just me, I'm waiting on all the women to come out and talk about
I can't wait. I think it's going to happen before he passes. We definitely going to get some good.
We're going to have some serious August interviews, but switched around, where Will's girls come out and they're like, so I had permission from Jada, and like, man, just all over the place.
Full blessing. And then what's crazy about August interview and about listening to the Smiths talk, and I don't know if this is because I try to be more direct, as I age, girl, like nobody was being direct. It seemed like they was talking in some cryptic ass circles sometimes, and I'm why aren't we putting definitive terms on shit? Even her saying an entanglement, as funny as it was to make fun of, I'm like, bitch, you can't say you was fucking this man.
No, because she
doesn't anything to make it sound good.
Fully admit that she's in the wrong, because I don't think she thinks she's in the wrong.
Oh, not at all.
Like you said, if there was a conversation between her and Will that allowed for this to happen, she probably feels entitled to have that dick in her.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
And then I'm thinking that's why I want to know like more of the story. Not that they're entitled to give it to us, but that's what makes the story even more intriguing. Because I'm like, why did Jada think this was even cool to do outside of y'all being like, I'm done? Because I remember being separated from my ex-husband before the divorce, and I wasn't running to another guy. That was not my goal right when that happened. I was pretty devastated. Of course, stuff happened with people after that.
Right.
But initially, I'm really hurting stuff. I'm not like, okay, now I get to be out here. So what's going on? What it will do, where you're just like, okay, boom, I got me somebody. This is convenient. Because I also think Jada went after convenience. He's here. He's an attractive young guy to me. He's here.
God,
I know him
not
intimate.
Attractive though.
To you, to Jada, he was just fine.
I guess.
A lid for every pot.
I know.
But yeah, like, and he's here, and we know each other intimately. So she probably thought it was,
good to go.
It makes sense that, and then especially if you earn someone's trust. And at that time, I bet you thought August would never say anything.
I bet.
Because
he didn't for 10 years.
Forever. And you probably thought also you have a bit of control over this young man. So he's not going to say anything.
And he may have stepped into manhood and was like, I need to tell somebody about this.
Pretty much, because it really did remind me of those people that had been touched when they were younger. And they're like, look, I may be 45 now, but I am saying something. Because in that moment, you may look at somebody as like they're the big bad adult and you're the little kid. And it also sucks that August was kind of getting picked at, and how people were just dismissing what he was feeling, because they were like, well, it wasn't like anybody was illegal. Everybody was grown, and people aren't considering emotional and mental maturity in something like this. They're just like, well, everyone was legal. Yeah, on paper, everyone was legal. You're right. But the bigger picture here is when you have people saying how sick someone was, especially when they said it in unison, which to me was the creepiest part of the interview. When they were like, yeah, he came to us and he was very sick. And then they said it at the same time. I was like,
that's a red flag. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I'm saying, and I told Dee this too, so if you're listening to this episode, you're going to hear it again. I'm really weirded out that Will Smith has a social media presence in the last year and a half, because he just started Instagram, and then Shane Dawson got caught up with the pedo thing with Willow, and then all of a sudden Jada's fucking ex like boy toy is out in the open. Like, if anybody knows anything, all this whole pedo humiliation, all of that crap is very disturbing to me. Like, I feel like it's all making sense, that it's pieces of puzzles being put together for the next level for them. You know what I mean?
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. So we could go do shit and whatnot.
Yes. I
gotta order some
put this
things.
laundry up.
I gotta do laundry.
Excitement.
I gotta try to figure out what to feed them because now it's really late. Anyways, if you've enjoyed our podcast thus far, make sure you subscribe to your favorite platform for your podcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and comment, say all the things that you want to say. I really want to hear from everybody about this Jada Pinkett situation, this entanglement situation. Y'all, I know y'all got stuff to say. With August.
Entanglement.
Make sure you subscribe to it too. Get your new episodes every Thursday at noon Central. And if you're into low brow news, we got some on Mondays at 9 a.m. So there's
or if you're
else.
Into an entanglement with CJ.
Oh no.
No, you about to be the married one, so they gotta entangle with you. It's not exciting entanglement with single people. You gotta get
not
with the
an
couple.
Entanglement.
It's not entanglement.
I don't think Rob will like that very much. I don't think so.
He got no choice.
Anyway, well, you guys stay woke, stay blessed, logical, and safe. If you're black, stay black. If you're not, support POC and allies unite. We will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.